Welcome to the Silk Walk Expedition. This is Kyrgyzstan. Let's go.
Where the heck is Kyrgyzstan?
Kyrgyzstan is west of China, and it's kind of sits right in the heart of Central Asia. To the north, there's Kazakhstan, and it's just steppe, grassland. To the south, there's Tajikistan with even bigger mountains. They grow and grow into the Himalayas further south. Deserts on both sides, and so it's this really cool little heart of Central Asia where lots of these different environments come together.
What is Kyrgyzstan like? What is Kyrgyzstan like? It's mostly mountains, like 90% mountains. And in those mountains, there's people.
I think of Kyrgyzstan in three different groups of people, more or less, based on where they are. There's like the city life, where it's pretty similar to city life elsewhere. Then you also have the agricultural areas where they're growing a lot of feed for livestock. And then you have the mountains where all the livestock are living and all the nomads are. And they're spending the summers there in the mountains grazing, and then they're going back to the cities and the villages and the towns for the winters. And so you have that flow with the seasons, and that's really what the nomadic life here is about, is that flow of the summer and winter, going up to the Jailus for the summer and going towns and villages for the winter.
Kyrgyzstan is surrounded by a bunch of other stands. It's funny because stand just means land in Turkic languages. So you have Kyrgyzstan, the land of the Kyrgyz, Uzbekistan, land of the Uzbeks, Tajikistan, so on and so forth. And one of the reasons why they have, so many similar stands at the end of them is because they're all Turkic people, or at least they share a Turkic dialect, Turkic language, which is can be a little confusing when there's a whole country named Turkey.
The language came out of Mongolia originally, alongside Mongolian, and then spread west and a little northeast as well. So there's quite a lot of Turkic languages out there. and they all kind of comprise the heart of Asia right in the center.
And so just, looking at language, it's really cool to see people's ancestry and where these people come from around here. It's also really cool to see how that migration, that travel pattern from Mongolia all the way to Turkey has had some people maintain that nomadic lifestyle.
Having a picnic on the mountainside. It's fruit, stomach, cheese, donated biscuits, bread, salt, tomatoes, and tea. Yeah, cream soda. It's really cream soda. But yeah, just another day in the mountains of Kyrgyzstan.
The hospitality.
Hospitality in Kyrgyzstan has been constant. Constantly people have been inviting us in for tea, for vodka, asking us if we need a ride, just always trying to help in any way they can.
But more than just, gawk at the foreigners, they want us to feel very welcomed. Sometimes they invite us into their home. Sometimes they're like, you have to stay here one night, we're going to cook you food, you're here, you're our guests.
One thing we've been told about hospitality here is that guests bring happiness into the house, coming through the door with them.
It's really nice. We turn it down more often than we'd like to, just because a lot of times we just need to keep moving. And you get an offer of tea every 100 meters walking through town. You're never going to make it through that town if we stop, or we're never going to make it through that town if we're stopping for each offer. But it's really nice every time we receive it.
See this plate of food? This is actually the garnish for this plate of food.
Oh. Boom! Welcome to a chai hana. We're going to drink tea and eat plov all day. It's the first day of the Silk Walk expedition. 2K in.
Yeah.
I think 2K is generous.
Food! This whole section is about food.
Okay.
All right, Kyrgyz food. Like we've said before, Kyrgyzstan is 90% mountains, which means
you're definitely eating seasonally, and you're definitely eating local.
the biggest thing that they grow is meat. So all of their food, in some form or another, has meat in it, and they're usually big chunks of meat.
Big chunks of
Meat.
Or, ground up, but, a hefty amount of meat, no matter what it is.
Multiple times we saw them boil a sheep whole, and that's the food. The sheep does not taste appealing to us when it gets boiled whole, because all of the tastes are the same, and not my favorite way to eat a sheep.
And besides the meat, which is lamb and cow, they have root vegetables, so potatoes and carrots. They also love onions.
There's just a pile of raw onion.
A lot of raw cucumber as well. You might get cucumber and tomato.
That's the salad. We're just okay, this is different.
Kyrgyzstan has a big sweet tooth, so they usually bring a lot of cookies with them.
They're also drinking tea all the time.
Even in the mountains, they would bring everything with them, including the kitchen sink. There's a lot of places we saw this little freestanding kitchen sink.
You imagine, if you're outside all day and you're working with animals, you should definitely wash your hands before you eat.
I was a little bit nervous to start up again and very excited. It was definitely all I was thinking about for our 8-month break.
All right.
Oh, wait. The dust cloud's coming into me. I'm not seeing the dust cloud. All right, try again. Some more dust? There you go. I was excited to start again. It was nice to be back on the road. It was a very, I don't know, stutter start.
And we came back and I think immediately got sucked into the culture of friends and the community that we had before we left. And so just peeling ourselves away from Bishkek and starting to actually walk took a while.
It took us 2 weeks to leave Bishkek to begin with. And after that, we just started slow because it was really hot, then hit the mountains, and my mental shape of my body was where we left off, and my physical shape of my body is not where we left off.
It's not like I have it's not like my legs are sore. It's like they just don't have energy in them anymore. It's not like it's like, oh, it hurts. It's more like, I can't push farther.
The mountains were so incredible. They're hard, there's a lot of mountains that we had to cross, and they were steep, but it was some of the most remote and some of the most wildernessy places that we've had on this walk. Just that juxtaposition is so enjoyable compared to what most of Kazakhstan and China were like, where it was just flat as far as the eye can see.
The mountains were bittersweet for me. It was really cool to just be in and amongst the mountains and to have one after another. I've never been in mountains before quite like that, to go from one ridge to the next. And so that was absolutely beautiful. The bitter part was that my knees are not so good, and to have to push a trailer that mainly has winter stuff and lots of other things that aren't being used in the moment was really rattling in more ways than one.
Like Pat said, bittersweet. It was beautiful, and it was fun to be in the mountains, and it was also exhausting, and we wouldn't get very far, and 10K a day was a good day because we'd be beat after that. And there often were long sections too. It wasn't just like we're going to go up and down really far. It's like it's going to be like 9 days of food we're carrying as we go 3K up Kegedy. So it was beautiful and it was wonderful, and I was really ready for flat at the end of it. There was also the combining factor of the roads were terrible there, so that made the mountains much harder as well. It would be washboarded, potholed, and dusty, and so every car flying by would assault our faces with a cloud of dust. Those little things are really frustrating and aggravating to be dealing with all day, every day, and just like getting covered in dust. Sometimes I would argue that there wasn't a road anymore.
Yeah.
That's where she wants to go. That's where she wants to go, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. The technical sit.
Kyrgyzstan only has like 2 paved roads going east and west from Bishkek, and we decided to go south.
We're witnessing the birth of a road. We're in the middle of nowhere, kind of, sort of. It's really strange to see a brand new road here.
Yeah, it was really rough on the trailers overall, and mine and Pat's both ended up breaking significantly.
Both handles broke, and so they were just loose and floppy for a little while.
It's not supposed to do that.
Tim really shook his frame on the bottom, and it just broke the bar clean in half. And so with some duct tape and string, we tried to make the best fixes possible until we could order parts to a big city that we were confident shipping was going to work out, and it worked out great. So trailers are A-OK again, and hopefully the roughest part of the trip is behind us in that respect.
Yeah, the roads really put a beating on our trailers and our bodies. This is like as soon as we left Kyrgyzstan, we got a flat paved road, and I felt like I could go forever.
Yeah, sweet. Well, I'm glad that's done. That sucked. Looks like it's all chill from here, guys.
Like it's all grassy.
I think on this trip, our challenges have been two main things, really. One is just adhering to the mission we set ourselves by moving slowly and trying to connect. But innately, if you're trying to move, you can't take the time to stick around places and connect as much as we would like to. So we're always at odds with to stay or to go. The second one is just time, like the trip is already a year and a half in, and we've still got another 6 months to go if we triple our pace. And at that kind of scale, it doesn't really matter what it is. Anything can become challenging. Little things can become challenging. I think it's less about bad weather and good weather. Those are momentary. It's the getting along with each other for the long term. It's the focus on not forgetting our mission and why we're here, and that I think sometimes can be easily forgotten.